It's your drive home on Hot 103. Folks, looks like that storm is headed right for us. Gonna put some gas in my Furman generator, stop by the ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and of course, watch Mike's weather page. Y'all stay safe out there. Tropics rage. You'll always have a friend here at Mike's weather page. Mike's weather page, Mike's weather page, Mike's weather page. You can depend, he'll keep you safe, he'll keep it locked. Mike's weather page. Seen him lose a shoe. I've seen him chase storms there with Hunter and Louie too.
What's up, everybody? That's one of our new tunes. Have you heard it yet? I will give everybody a minute here to log in. The trick to going live is you got to give people time to know that we're live. Otherwise, they're like, you started without me. So we're just going to sing together. Louie's not a good singer. We got Fiona above me. Oh, I got to get it in the picture a little better. There we go. Louie, what's up, Miss Shelley? Chances of Fiona coming to Wilmington, 0 to 100. I mean, come on. Nobody knows the answers to any of that stuff. But we're going to talk about chances here soon. We'll kill the music here. And boom. Look at that production skills, man. Was that not awesome? Fade out and everything, man. I'm learning. A one-man band. I actually got Hunter on the controls over here. Good job, Hunter. He's working the DJ tonight. All right, so good evening, everybody. We normally do our lives in the morning, obviously, 9:19 Eastern every day. Pretty much every day we talk, and we do special lives at night. So welcome. My name is Mike, the Hype. Located here in Oldsmar, Florida. This is Louie. We'll make sure we show Hunter in the morning. But we're going to talk about Fiona, the Shrek. Did you like how I said that Fiona was Shrekin West instead of Trekkin? I always use the word Trekkin, Trek. Today I got pretty ingenious and said Fiona Shrekin West. So anyway, all right, so what's cooking? All right, we are going to talk tropics, maybe 30 minutes, hopefully. We'll see about that. All right, so right here you go. Let's do it. I'm going to try to say hey to a few people. We usually say hey to more people in the mornings. I hate to miss anybody, but, let's do a few here. We got Bob. Love another Daily Brew later today. Cool, appreciate that. Rhonda Buford. We love Buford. Chalkboard. David Allen Guy. I love the Eating Lies. Appreciate it. Lisa Reed. Hey, Louie, what's up? Okeechobee watching. Wanda. Loretta Reed, always there watching. Sam's got a daughter named Fiona. Well, she's famous. Hope she doesn't have green skin. Anybody remember watching V? My age, remember V? And the baby came out green. Remember that? The alien? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't hallucinate. Desiree, what's happening? Texas watching. What's up, Crystal? Texas Andy, what's up, buddy? Jeff. A lot of Fionas. Now she's famous. Patty from Connecticut. Amy from West Palm Beach. What's up, Chris? Jennifer Dickinson. Oh, yeah, I love you too. Oh, crap, can't say that. My wife's here. We broke up, Jennifer.
Nice.
Deanna Roop. Hello. Tracy. Hello. Man, we got a lot of people popping in. And then, of course, we're streaming live on Twitter and YouTube, too. We got big following over on YouTube also. And we got a lot of people over there. North Carolina, Pete Patel. What's happening? Wilmington, Kit Kat. Cure Beach, North Carolina, Island Time. A lot of Carolina, a lot of less Florida people. Ian says, keep that storm away from Jamaica. Well, you know what? It might be a week, Fiona, if it comes your way, Ian. Dylan James TV, what's up, buddy? Cool. All right. Well, we got a lot of haze. I hate to miss everybody, but we got to talk topics. All right. So let's see where, you guys can talk to each other. It's like a big old group orgy with clothes on. All right, so this is what happened today. All right, so this is a current look. Let's talk about it. This is a water vapor loop. Here's our system. This is Fiona. This is nothing. Ironically, this has been kind of clearing up some of that dry air in front of Fiona. So the atmosphere is becoming a little bit more moist, and that dry air is really disappearing. So the only thing against Fiona tonight is shear, and I'm going to show you that. This is that wave that came off Africa, and NHC is not talking about it. It's not really getting a lot of love from the model. So the only game in town is Fiona, and that's what we're going to talk about. Here's the latest cone. Interestingly enough, I don't understand what happened. The original NHC graphic came out. They had tropical storm warnings for Puerto Rico. That might be outside the 36, 48-hour window that they need. So I did post it. I haven't changed it because they're going to have tropical storm warnings anyways. So the first graphic that came out actually had blue around Puerto Rico. Now that has yellow, a watch. It'll end up being a warning. But here's what the hurricane hunters found. The hurricane hunters were out there a little bit ago. Here's some good data from Tropical Tidbits. And look at that, man. They found some pretty strong winds. Surprisingly, pressure's hanging on 1,005, kind of tricking down a little bit. The track's kind of doing what the Euro was saying, kind of going a little south, maintaining that west motion, but tricking a little south. The big thing I'm going to show you is a couple things coming up. The Euro did a switch today and trended a lot more west like the CMC, and this thing is very separated, decoupled, or decoupled, they call it, where you're stacking is not very sexy. The 500 millibars here and the 850 millibars here, they're not completely stacked yet. So we're going to show you that. But anyway, the big winds are obviously to the east of center, but they did find some pretty strong winds, like 60 mile an hour. Healthy. Let me see if I can get the satellite up before the sun goes down here. This is cyclonic weather. This is Alex site, that name of the gentleman that runs this site, but they have a really good red, green, blue imagery here for, let's see, where is current storms? We got a lot of stuff going on out there. Let's slide on down to Fiona, floater. My head must be in the gutter every time I hear the word floater. All right, ooh, still working. Okay, so this is amazing satellite. My most favorite, if you were to ask me my most favorite satellite in the world, it's red, green, blue, RGB. This shows you lower level clouds, upper level clouds. Clear spinach, beautiful structure. Look at this, totally tropical, low level, beautiful. However, all this convection should be over top of our system, and it's not. Strong winds are coming out of the south west, well, mainly west, southwest. So when you have strong upper level wind shear, it's blowing the convection off from west to east. And this is a decoupled system. It's not perfectly stacked. And this is amazing that it's 60 miles an hour, honestly. Sometimes these little guys will break apart and sometimes start a new center maybe, but it's hanging on. It's just not the most sexy looking tropical system. It is on the bottom. Fiona's looking good from the waist down. but she's not looking good on the waist up. So this is a sheared system, and that shear is going to be sticking around here. This is a great site. I have it linked on the thing called Weather Models, but you can put on the wind shear and right here, boom. Now it gets hard to see, I realize that. So let's see if I can get a better one. Visible, maybe, I don't know, IR, let's do IR. All right, so hard to see, especially if you've been drinking 5 o'clock somewhere. But the upper level winds are sliding across here, and the little white arrowed lines are your upper level winds, and they're coming in and hitting our system. So in all this red area is wind shear ahead. So bottom line, the next like day and a half, 2 days, this thing's got a lot of wind shear ahead, and that is going to ultimately slow down intensification. And what that means is some of the modeling that we've seen here, here's the latest Euro ensembles. We've noticed this trend with the Euro. This is on Weather Nerds. The trend with the Euro, yesterday, every one of the ensembles had a strong system completely missing continental U.S. and most of the Bahamas. Well, we saw overnight the trend shifted a little bit west, and then we saw today the 12Zs, more trending of our models staying weak now and possibly inching more west. Enough that the NHC mentioned that, and the NHC mentioned that their 5 o'clock track adjustment has now been shifted a little south and a little west, because they mentioned that this trending of the ensembles are making them consider a little more track west. So interesting stuff ahead. The reason being real simple, a couple things. Slow moving system gets beat up over Hispaniola. Weaker systems go west, more land interaction farther south. We have a high pressure coming in later next week, and if this thing misses any exit out of here, then it gets bumped northwest, and that's exactly what a weaker system likely is going to do. A strong system accelerates fast, and it gets on out of here ahead of our approaching frontal line. A weak system is showing up now as staying a little bit more northwest. High pressure kind of builds in actually and blocks it, and doesn't allow any exit to the Atlantic. So that's what's happening. Whether or not it happens or not makes complete sense. We've been talking a lot about this scenario of a weaker system taking longer, allowing more time for this high ridge to build in, and that's what's happening. So we'll see. Here's your individual runs. Let me show you that real quick. Let me get rid of some things here. Lastly, before I forget, this is a very popular model when I show it. This one shows you timing. Friday, 8 p.m. is when we can start to see tropical storm force winds in the Leeward Islands. Saturday, 8 a.m., closer to the Virgin Islands. And Saturday, p.m., the Puerto Rico, around Puerto Rico, the islands, they're out in front Saturday evening, Saturday night. So your timing is Friday, p.m., tomorrow night. We'll start to see winds, tropical storm force winds impact the Leeward Islands. So it's a good graphic. It's on my site. You can really learn a lot on that as far as needing to know, if you need to know timing and whatnot. So let me show you what the worst case scenario going on is. Mike the hype here. Let's just talk about what the Euro did, and kind of got everybody scratching their heads here a little bit, right? Might be coming to Beaufort for a beer. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Tammy Harvick? Good evening from Davey Parker, Davey, Florida, Jim Parker. Good to see you. Thanks for the stars, Christy. What's up, David Berryhill? And the ads hit. Yeah, you know. Hey, there's a chance it could fall apart. However, I've seen a lot of storms fall apart and re-intensify. As a matter of fact, I retweet. A little key to my site here. This is my Twitter feed, but things that I retweet show up here, and it's really important to scroll this right here. It's usually some good stuff. So I just retweeted this from Yakov Cantor. I mess his name up, but he's a pretty smart guy. Hurricane history is riddled with relatively weak storms that survived an encounter with Hispaniola and went on to strengthen significantly in the Northwest Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico, many hitting the U.S., continental U.S. Examples include Laura. These are systems that went over Hispaniola. They maintained some sort of a lower level spin. I remember Laura. Everybody thought it would get beat up. It came right back. Once they had that little seed and that lower level spinach, they popped back. So Laura went across Hispaniola, Augusta of 08, Jean in 04, Lily. He was just basically letting everybody know that there's been some storms over the years that hit Hispaniola. But here's what I want to show you. This is interesting to me. We've kind of I've withstood the hype comments, people telling me to let it go. People saw some of the spaghetti models going out to sea, and like I say, you never say never in the tropics. And just because that one run showed a recur, half of the weather world said it's over, storm's done. So we watch for trends, and the one thing that I've learned, and the way that I report things and what I choose to post is because I'm seeing trends and the possibilities. I'm not just going to put a random run out there if I don't believe in it. And I saw this potential of a weaker west track, and that's why I share the ensembles and I was sitting here today watching the Euro run. I'll admit, man, and I'm just F5 in every second, watching it, and people on Twitter are saying, "Hey, look at the Euro. It's a little weaker, a little wester." So, here's what the Euro did this afternoon. This is a 12Z. This is tropicaltidbits.com. Stays south of Puerto Rico. The important thing to note here, too, more than anything, is that we're going to have a ton of rain. Some of the rain maps that I saw are a foot plus of rain in the mountains of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola and Virgin Islands. So definitely a huge rain event, regardless of strength. Tropical system, it doesn't matter how strong a tropical system is for rainfall. Rainfall could be just as bad for a tropical storm as it could be a Category 5. Actually, a stronger system is probably moving faster, meaning less rain, honestly. So a slow-moving tropical system is not what you want to see down in the mountains. So unfortunately, it's going to be a weekend of a lot of rain for a lot of folks down in that area. So here's what the Euro does. It briefly intensifies it to 999, and then it tears it up over Hispaniola, and then it kind of breaks it apart. Very weak, low pressure, and that's what you don't want to see right here. You don't want to see a weak, low pressure system anywhere right here, because that means it's got the seed and it's got the most ideal conditions for development, and I don't want to say rapid intensification, but we have seen a lot of systems rapidly intensify once they clear the mountains of eastern Cuba and Hispaniola. So that's something we want to watch. But anyway, here's the latest Euro. Bahamas. This is next. So here we go. This is next Thursday. Central Bahamas, Thursday on the Euro, and there's Friday morning next week, a week from tomorrow. Inching in, it's going to have a window of development. The Euro doesn't do really good sometimes on short-term intensification. Bottom line is what we're looking at here is the track. 990. That would be. It usually means a hurricane, and it cuts it right through the state. This would be Saturday morning next week, a week from this Saturday. So whether or not that happens, we'll have to see. But I will show you this, and this makes so much sense to me what happened. Yesterday, the overnight 00Z showed our system as a little faster, a little stronger, missing a lot of land, and this is a weakness. This is high pressure that is building, coming in, but our system misses it, and it goes out to sea. That was yesterday's run. You can see that. This is the upper level winds, feels that weakness, and gets on out of here. What happened this afternoon, which makes a lot of sense, a slower mover system, a weaker moving system, doesn't feel the weak upper level winds, and there's our high pressure building in. And once that high pressure gets to a point, high pressure winds accelerate clockwise, and it actually helps accelerate a system along the edges there. So once that high pressure gets in place above, then our system, has a better chance to head northwest. So not a forecast by any means, just putting it out there. Now, the other model that's been really consistent, which I share because the Canadian model has not been that bad over the years. I'm telling you, it's been consistent, showing the same exact pattern. The Canadian has been showing this pattern. That was today. This was last night. This is the Canadian. This was yesterday afternoon. So 3 runs in a row here showing the same exact setup now that the Euro is showing. And that would be a weaker system. High pressure, it's a race. High pressure builds in and closes off this exit here, and our system has nowhere to go. So it's a race. Stronger system is going to be able to pull up here and likely beat our system. Makes so much sense, right? So everything, in my opinion, is going to be how fast this thing can develop here. If it stays south and it goes over Puerto Rico and it goes into Hispaniola, then it's not going to have a long period to intensify. So if it starts to lift, here, even the National Hurricane Centers talked about, a couple of the models were showing this really intensifying, pulling north and getting on out of here. And they're like, that's becoming a little less likely. So the farther our system goes west over the weekend, then we're going to know a lot. And that'll determine how far west this goes before, giving that a little window to intensify. So that's why the NHC only goes out 5 days, because past 5 days is so hard to predict. And sometimes 5 days is too hard to predict. And remember, I talked about it this morning. This is anywhere that the center of the storm can go. The center could end up being here. And this isn't where the effects are. This is where the actual center of our storm could be, anywhere in this white cone. That's why we call ourselves the cone heads. So that's the latest. Obviously we got to worry about rain. Let me find some good rain maps here. Some of the rain earlier was just unbelievable with the Euro for Puerto Rico and that neck of the woods. Let me see here. We should be able, I don't know. This is going to show, some of these don't have rain totals that I want. Here's total precip. This one might. It's just so hard, but this is a good representation. This kind of in a nutshell is going to show what I want to show. Anything purple is a foot. Anything white is about 7, 8, 9. So here's kind of an idea. Now, this is the Euro. Obviously, it shifted south a tick. This thing goes up a little bit, then all those purple rains are going to end up going toward Puerto Rico and some of the Virgin Islands. So this is all track dependent, but as you can see, someone's going to get 12 inches plus of rain. And that is the big story for the Caribbean more than anything right now. So they're going to be dealing with that first. The other thing I want to show is the H-Wharf. I don't mean to hype, but I really believe I need to show it because it's been very consistent. The H-Wharf, in my opinion, has not been a very bad model, and it's over the years, it seems like it's performed pretty well on intensity. So just throwing it out there, just 90 knots, 100. This would be a hurricane. The H-Wharf has been consistent. I think 3 out of 4 runs now. It's been showing a quick developing system on approach to the Leeward Islands and of course close to Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. So, just putting it out there. Worst case scenario, however, the H-Wharf is not a bad model, and the conditions there are quite favorable once we get into those areas. If you look at water temperatures, so our water temperatures now, it's just starting to enter 28 degrees, 29 degrees Celsius soon on approach. The ocean heat content is a big part of storm development, and our islands are here. I have a little pointer ain't working. But the islands are here, and you can see the yellow is hotter, oranges are really hotter, reds are really hot. That's how hot, deep the water goes below the surface. So it's starting to enter these extra warm, hot water ocean heat content, and so on approach, it'll start having a little better, conditions. The big thing that's going to have to overcome is the shear, and you can see that quite well here on this map. This is a pretty big pocket of shear that it's going to have to go through ahead. So that's, probably going to beat this thing up for the next day at least. And that's why some of the thinking is it's going to stay weak through Hispaniola. And then the big question mark is going to be what happens on the other side. So, yeah, it's got my curiosity pegged because showing that weak west scenario. So that's really it. I mean, knowing, individual people wondering about where you live. I mean, come on. I mean, we're a week plus away. The timing, I mean, this would be good to show, I guess, worst case scenario runs for CMC. If we do have people in Florida and Bahamas, this is be next Wednesday over central and western Bahamas. Potential Florida impacts a week from tomorrow, Thursday, or it's a week from today, Thursday. So that's right around the corner. That's next Thursday on the Canadian. And then if it gets into the Gulf, could be the weekend. I mean, that's a double whammy. So you gotta just pay attention. One run is not an outlier anymore. Not when you have the Euro now doing the same exact thing. A little bit more, east, but the timing on the Euro is about 2 days slower. This is Friday. A lot of rain in Florida. And again, it's all coming down to this. I've been reading a lot of articles about the Pacific is controlling some of this. A lot of question marks on how the Pacific's going to affect our digging of the troughs through the week. So there's a lot of uncertainty. But anyway, Perry, there's no model of supports, just really all over the place with the one off of Africa right now. I'm not going to go into it really. The NHC isn't even marking it. I'm hoping this is the only one we got to worry about. It actually is fizzling it out lately. So it's really, right now this is it. This is the only game in town. The wave off of Africa lost a lot of support. Even the GFS. Oh shoot, the GFS is running right now. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Ugh. I don't like the GFS, but the GFS is definitely trending west. The 12Z run, holy cow, what a shift in the GFS. Here is the afternoon 12Z on the GFS, and look at the 18Z. It's running right now. I'm going to allow this thing to go a little bit more west before it gets into that. Look at that, 954, 959. I don't have to tell you guys. Dorian was expected to be a tropical storm hitting Florida when it was down here, and we all knew the conditions are just too favorable this time of year in that area. I mean, look at what Andrew did, right? So anyway, there's a new GFS. I guess we'll leave it here and see where it ends up going. But so the models have shifted. We haven't seen this in a long time. We haven't seen a shift in the models like we're seeing right now. So anyway, but I do like learning from ensembles, and I feel like we've discussed this a couple days ago, the windshield wipe effect and the slowing down of the system is going to allow high pressure to build in quicker and possibly allow this to come see me. I'd be okay with that. I'm going wherever it's at. Hey, Reed Timmer popped into our chat today on YouTube, by the way. That was pretty awesome, man. Shelly, did I blush? I didn't know what to say, man. I'm like, when you are in the presence of greatness, like the big dogs, there's no bigger dog in the weather world than Reed and Jim Cantori. So yeah, I was like, hey, what's up? So that was awesome. That was a good moment. So here's the difference on the latest Euro showing the timing here of our system. This is next Friday. You can start to see this dry air come in place, and lingering flat fronts. A frontal line diagonal is a lot different than a frontal line that's flat. A diagonal frontal line, allows a little bit more of that. When these things start to flatten out, it indicates one thing, that high pressure is building in, and that's kind of what the Euro is showing for next Friday. High pressure building in. So again, it's really coming down to a stronger system. Obviously makes sense. It pulls north of the islands, hopefully is doing less damage down there and pulling north and getting on out of here. But the weaker the system is, the more chance it's going to have. It looks like that this high pressure is going to build in and allow this track. And I did not draw an arrow touching Florida. Sorry. It's only a week away. I mean, you would hope the models are pretty smart 7 days out, you would think. Been one of them years. And this is something you haven't seen. This is the Southwest Water Florida Management site, and there you go, Canadian and Euro. We'll see. And the GFS is running now. Oh my goodness, it's inching closer now. Hey, I'll give you a shout out. I have to look up. Who is that? Everybody do a shout out. Who was it though? My Shelly here said you blush, Trish. Oh my goodness. You a big dog. Well, I don't know about that, Sandy. I'm a redneck storm chaser. Did you guys get to see the but Shelly's buying shrimp. Hey, I do know one thing. I told, hey, Yoel, what's happening, buddy? How's South? Hey, South Florida, I might be coming to see you, Yoel. You see the new house, and we might be chasing storms together, man. I got a lot of folks on the Florida East Coast, man, that I met down at the Governor's Hurricane Conference. A lot of EOC departments that gave me their cards and said, man, if we ever get a storm, I'll be able to ride around in the freaking tanks and the amphibious machines. I'll be redneck sword chaser, no doubt, man. We'll be on the beach in Ormond, man. I'll be out there with the flag, like that one Florida meme, I'll take my shirt off and, well, you don't want to see that, but I'll be flying the flag. Fiona! I should buy a mask. I wonder if I should buy a mask on Amazon. Oh, I should buy a Shrek mask. I should definitely buy a Shrek mask. Let's get one. Let's see, how long will it take to get here? Tomorrow. I don't think I want a latex head. That might be hot. But they got $25 Shrek heads I can get tomorrow. I'm doing it. Anyway, hey, Tammy Harvick, good morning. Let me say a couple more shout-outs. That's all I got to say, pretty much. I'm going to do some shout-outs here. Steven over on YouTube, what's up, Morehead City? Dadman walking. Hey, thanks for checking in, buddy. I did blush, Shelly says. Gulfstream Surf and Joy says, yeah. Orlando rain, I know. So lingering front. Hey, Eric. Eric says Costco had Halloween and Christmas decorations side by side. I know, isn't that crazy? Does anybody have any connections for a 12-foot Home Depot skeleton? I need one bad for Talladega. I need one bad. I want one bad. Hell, I'll buy 2 of them. I think it would be so cool to have like 12-foot skeletons hanging up. If we put one in our house, Sarah would absolutely go bonkers, man. But anyway, so bottom line is this. Stacy, I don't know what you're talking about. Hoping for wind shear down Dominican Republic. Yeah, Todd, I believe so. So really, let's do this last minute thing here because I kind kind of have a really good idea what's going on in my head at what we're talking about here. So let's find a map. I don't know what would be a good map. Probably, I guess this one wouldn't be too bad. I don't know if I can go full screen with it though. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I like this one. Oh, I can go bigger right there. There we go. Cool. Let me get my little pointer. Ah, it's perfect. Perfection. All right. So, all right, here's what we got. So here you go. This is your 1 minute weather synopsis. We have a sloppy system, 60 mile an hour, heading west. Tropical storm warnings are up. They were up for Puerto Rico. They're going to be up probably tonight at 11. A lot of wind shear here, so it's got a really rough road ahead of it. Don't expect any rapid intensification the next 24 hours at least. Once it clears that wind shear, it's going to have a little window of possible development here. It does appear the mountains of Puerto Rico aren't as disrupting as Hispaniola, so it could have a little window of opportunity here to watch. That's what I'm talking about. That the H-Wharf really has intensified our system short term. So anybody here in the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, obviously, this thing, my gut is it could have a little window to try to develop once it passes this wind shear. But if it hits Hispaniola, then it's going to weaken. I don't know why I keep closing that. And it's just going to fall apart possibly. Some of the models are showing it, fall apart. And if it falls apart, then it won't really get its act together until here. That's the one scenario. If this thing really develops here, there's a chance it could pull north, start to accelerate, and really get on out of here. So again, it all really comes down about right here. Does it stay weak? If it stays weak, it goes west. If it develops fast into a hurricane, then it would start to feel the effects more of the upper level steering currents, and it would probably pull out of here fast. So still on the plate, but the NHC did nudge the cone a little bit to the west and a little bit to the south at 5 o'clock. So there's that. Whoa, got a sick wife. So the East Coast, Canadian model, Euro, showing that. The new GFS, getting close to the Carolinas, is a 940. That's a big shift, though. This is the latest GFS. It just ran. The 12Z was almost over by Bermuda. That's a huge swing. Here's where the 12Z was just 6 hours ago. The 18Z came out. That's a pretty significant shift. But again, the GFS, but still, it's a shift west. So unfortunately, there's a lot to watch. How about we just put an X everywhere? And then the Canadian model has it going into the Gulf. So, man, it's just, man, this is why we stay tuned. It's like a commercial break. Stay tuned next time. Anyway, all right. Well, Reggie King said that escalated quickly. Yeah, well, right now it's really nothing, but it is 60 miles an hour. It wasn't even supposed to be anything. Now it's a 60 mile an hour storm. So, hey, Braxton, Navy model. Let's see the old Navy model. I think it's pulling it north. Yeah, it's still pulling it north. Oh, last run was 6Z. It hadn't even run this afternoon. Didn't run 12Z yet. But we know all about that Navy model. Intensity, though, on the Icon's good at sniffing them out, so it's already done its job. The Icon's not very good with track. The H-Wharf is running every 6 hours. And, it really develops it. So, clipping the islands. Getting close to the Virgin Islands. So. All right, anyway, that's it. I'm going to go watch Emily play softball now. Kelly, a great question. The NHC definitely starts out very conservative on They don't make knee-jerk reactions. They make small steps. Even when you see the crayons, they'll be 30%, 40%, because models change and they realize that you can't let emotions ride one run to the next. And it's so easy when you see run to Florida and then overnight it might be back out the Atlantic, and your first reaction is, oh, it's gone. Things are, they don't say windshield wiper effects and flip-flopping. That's real stuff. I mean, windshield wiping goes left, goes right, and eventually it starts honing in the middle. And I show my Irma graphics a lot. Maybe in the morning we'll do it, but they windshield wipered a lot. And the key is the outliers. And when we have outliers showing scenarios, there's confusion in the upper level winds. And until we get complete, agreeing on that, then we'll see. But even though the operational run, went into Florida, if just being honest, more ensembles were still a little bit to the west, or east, this way, east. So anyway, nothing to worry about in Florida, East Coast, Gulf. Just be aware, Bahamas. Timing would be later next week. So it's just a good time to have a plan. I used to not believe in that, but it is. If you haven't bought your Furman generator yet, run down to Costco, Lowe's, pick it up. Make sure you have gas. Make sure you have a emergency kit. Make sure your batteries. All that stuff. I mean, you never know. Toilet paper. You just never know. You don't want there to be a big run on this kind of stuff if this thing does point towards your area. Then it's too late. So anyway, all right, we'll see what the morning does. Thank you, Joe Ward. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Lori, USVI. Hey, you got to watch this sucker. I got a weird feeling this thing might be a little more than we did say that before. Originally it was 45, now it's 60. So Nikki's flipping out softballs. Tina, I won't come to South Carolina unless it comes to you. All right, cool. Well, I'm out of here. I told Shelly it'd be 30 minutes. She's probably got dinner cold. Poor girl. Adjust her schedule around my schedule. So, Shelly, I appreciate that. All right, we'll see everybody in the morning. I'll be updating a little bit tonight. I guess the key things tonight are 8 o'clock we'll have a new NHC update. If there's any new colored areas out there, that's when they bring out the crayons. So if they mark the far Atlantic spot, it would be at 8 o'clock. The next advisory from the NHC comes out at 11 p.m. The GFS ensembles will be interesting to me because even though the GFS, like I said, it hasn't had really the best year, it's been pretty much locked into this. Now, this is, this is where you got to scratch your head. The GFS ensembles at 12Z here, and these are weather nerds, everyone pretty much was out to sea. Now, the operational run just came out, and it's clipping Carolina. So, about an hour or so, we're going to have new ensembles out from the GFS, and if we see ensembles now doing this, then we're going to say, oh, it's definitely picking up on something. If all the GFS models are still out to sea, then this one operational run is just an outlier, bogus. But, for the GFS fans, let's take a look real quick here. What it just did. The 18Z, and this is upper level 500 millibar. But look, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, these models are showing the trend is the high pressure is beating our system and starting to wrap around, creating a block, and that's what the latest GFS is showing. So it'll be interesting to see what the overnight models show. But that's a trend. That's, I never want to sound like they call us wish casters when people think that I get more excited when there's a chance of landfall, and it's truthful. you get excited not because you want to see it. You just get excited because it's like, oh my gosh, and seeing trends develop in front of your eyes. It's I don't want to say entertaining, but I love tracking storms, and I look forward to the next model run. I look forward to weather patterns, and now that I understand weather patterns a whole lot more. But like I said, there's guys talking about what's going on in the Pacific right now that is going to affect our weather next week. So that's really out there. I mean, I'm not even going to start thinking about the Pacific and how it's going to affect our trough for next week. But what we're seeing is, the afternoon trends are a little more high pressure on the Euro, on the CMC, and the GFS. So there you go. All right. Well, listen, I might just have a Jack and Coke tonight. So if you do, cheers. I'll never tell. See y'all in the morning. Bye.